I feel it lately. You think that I'm shady, I think you're crazy. I say that cause somehow you thought you saved me. Maybe you should've played me, blame me and then betray me. Ain't that what I did? How would you feel if I told you that the dream that I was sold you wasn't real? If I told you that the game I ran on you was just a drill? If I told you that I never loved you, how'd that make you feel? Yeah. How would you feel if I went and found a new girl who was always down to build? And the combos got much deeper when we Netflixing and chill. If I hurt you on that level, tell me how'd that make you feel? Yeah.
Back at it.
Yeah.
Back at it. We back to cooking up that work.
Check your ego podcast.
Cooking up that fire.
Nestle in the building.
X in the building.
You know that.
Check your ego podcast. You guys gotta click like, subscribe, do all that. Do all that. Jump in the comments, slide through the DMs. You know what I mean? Drop whatever you guys need to drop. Say whatever you guys need to say. If you feeling capped, then call that. If
Cap.
If you feel like you got something to say and you're proud and you're proud of what you need to say it with your chest. Don't whisper it. You know what I mean? Say that and own that. We back, feeling, man. Yo? We back.
It's getting warm outside, man. It's starting to warm up.
Some of us would say
that's a good thing, man. That's a real good thing.
But yo, I want to go back to the track though. I'm listening to the track and I'm just like, yo, this guy. Every time I listen to a song, I'm just like, yo, this guy's tapping a new like cadence.
Versatile,
he's
nigga.
Tapping in like he's trying to try something new.
Versatile.
He's trying to try something new, and I'm just like, yo, it's just coincidentally right before we kicked off and we turned the cameras on, I was talking about trying something new, and one of these guys was trying to hate on me for trying something new, and I'm just trying to talk about like, yo, every time I listen to a track, we're trying to try something new. So I'm just like, yo, where do you find the inspiration to try something new?
Just pushing myself, man. Like that's always the type of music that I've gravitated towards. Listening to artists push themselves and try new things, and just be true to themselves while they're doing it. And I always strive to do that. So that's really just it. I'm gonna play with the flow. I'm gonna play with the vocals. I'm no singer. You know what I mean? But I could do my little 1-2 here and there. So I'm a dabble into that a little bit as well.
That's what's up. So like, right before we kicked this off, we were talking about something new. We were talking about something new, and I was telling my boy over here that, I wanted to try skiing, and you trying to get at me like, yo, how you try skiing, bro? Yo, you snowboard, all this, and I'm just like, yo, fam, I want to try something new. I'm like, yo, fam, man, I just want to ski. I feel like if I work on my ski skills, my snowboarding skills will become stronger, and if not, then maybe I just want to learn how to ski and try something new. So I just wanted to try something new. That's, I just wanted to try something new, and I just feel like it would help me as a, just an overall winter sports athlete type of dude, you know what I mean? So just I can't even speak right now. Just so happened that when you played this track, I heard you trying something new, and now I was gonna pose the question off to you to kind of kick us off.
Right.
So that's where we just came from. But now, just taking it back to real life and some of the things that we're here to speak about in a relationship, right? We talk about something new. If the partner you're with now, your new partner, is teaching you some things that are new to you, how are you more so to react to that sort of, environment? Are you gonna hold back and kind of be in a shell defensive mode where it's like, yeah, I'm not really used to this, so I'm not really comfortable in taking this route? Are you more so to take it on and be like, you know what, maybe this person has a little bit I can kind of grow from?
I'm gonna welcome it 100%. I'm gonna welcome it, but at the same time, as long as it doesn't go against like my fibers and who I am as a person, 100% I'm gonna welcome it. If you're teaching me like about a new food or what it could do to the body, or you're teaching me about something spiritual in your realm that has helped you through life and shit like that, I'ma always welcome that type of shit. But if you're trying to put some negative type of energy into my life, because new doesn't equate to positive, right? If you're showing me something new, you could be showing me like your habits, like you go out and drink all the time, and you're trying to put me on that wave. Like, nah, that's, you know what I mean? I'm straight on that. But as long as I see, a benefit to it, 100%, I welcome that. I think you should want to do that in a new relationship.
Yeah, man, no, for real. Like me just kind of going from, a couple of individuals I've been involved with in the last little while. I shouldn't say the last little while, but over the last decade, let's say. You know what I'm saying? Each of them, I could say that I understand the position I'm in, and then when I move on to the next one, I'm just like, holy, there's something better. And then I move on to the next one, I'm just like, holy, there's something even better. You know what I'm saying? So there's always that new aspect where I'm just like, I'm always like a sponge almost. I'm always willing to, sure, you know what? I can understand that, the character that I am right now is not my best form, you know what I'm saying? There's something else I got to achieve, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I kind of throw the question out.
Now, you mentioned that, every relationship, it was better. Was there ever a time where you were with someone and you're like, nah, that's worse than what I was before? Or do you always find yourself elevating?
Listen, so in between... This guy's making me
just trying to try and slither out of this one. I got him.
So yeah, the ones where I don't feel like this is going anywhere, then obviously those don't end up going anywhere, and you'll never see me talk about this person. You'll never see me with this person. So to answer that question is no, because I don't spend too much time in that scenario. You know what I mean? If you don't see something's working for you, you know it's not working for you, then why you gonna continue that route? You know what I mean?
Right.
You gave me the example a little while ago where it's like if someone, something about a fire or something happened or a pothole or something like that, and you see it, you know what's coming. It's like, why are you gonna continue driving? It's like, I'm gonna throw that back at you now. You know what I'm saying? So nah, bro.
Sometimes you can't see the pothole, or the pothole just looks. It's just been a nice layer of gravel put over it with some flowers, you know what I mean? See, you don't know it's deadly yet. But yeah, that's just life, right? You live and you learn, you experience different things, and you take the experiences that you can from everybody that you're in contact with.
For sure. So just me talking about my last situations, you know what I'm saying? I understand that there's more I could have offered in that relationship, whether it was good or it was bad, you know what I mean? I could have added a little bit more impact to it. So I'm gonna throw this question at you, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say, like, how do you show a girl you love them without telling them you love them?
Man, listen, that there could be so many different answers to that. Like for me, a lot of the little things. I was raised on cooking. You know what I mean? If I really fuck with you and I really care about you, I'm going to cook for you.
That's what's up.
You know what I mean? I'm not too... I was never raised around using the word, I love you, I love you, I love you, too much. It's more so of those little actions that, you speak of. Like, I'm going to cook for you. I'm going to do little subtle things. Like, I might leave something out for you, or try and anticipate your move so I can be ahead of you and prepare something for you that I think you might like. I might do little things like that, but I never really was one to say I love you. That's honestly probably been a flaw within me in relationships, because women like to hear that. Women need to hear that.
I think affirmation.
Is that affirmation? What?
Affirmation? Is that the word? Like you're just confirming a situation. You're confirming,
I guess in a sense.
So, for me, right? If I have to spend money, if it's time where I haven't really done much in a relationship, maybe we'll go out and eat, or we'll spend a day together and we'll chop it up and just have fun for that day. But more times it's like, I'm gonna give you a bit of my mind now. I'm gonna give you a little bit of my mind and tell you how I feel about you in terms of how much I appreciate you, sort of thing. And I think, from my relationships, I really don't get into like sharing my feedback and getting intimate in that way. But I feel like when I do and I appreciate somebody, I should tell them. I should tell them exactly. And I feel like those conversations lead into different conversations. And now we're building. Now we're understanding each other on like another level. Maybe we went from level 3, and now just basically off that conversation, we're level 4. Now she knows, her dudes were actually really rocking with her and what he appreciates with her. So I'm more so inclined to share a little bit more of my life. I've been in a shell in terms of my past situations and allowing, him into my mind. But I feel like at times I'll give them that little bit of nod. You know what? I can appreciate you because you've rocked me through X, Y, Z. When I did something wrong, you were still by my side, and you kept it rocking. You kept me on track. You know what I'm saying? I can appreciate that. I mean, no other female has been able to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you for what you are. you know what? Maybe next weekend let's go do what you need to do. Let's go to the drive-in theater. Let's kick. Let's go do a road trip. You know what I'm saying? Me and you could just go rock out and do our own thing together. Let's just spend a day together. You know what I mean? That's how I can show, my shorty that I love.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know what I mean?
You know.
But yeah, I don't like to get into it too much. So I feel like at least one of these episodes I should give a little bit. Just give a little bit.
That was nothing, dog.
It was light. It's not too much. Not too much. Yeah, man. Going in from you talking to a girl, you being in a relationship with her, maybe moving in with her. When do you know it's time to take it to the next level?
Well, define next level. What does that mean?
Okay, so next level in your relationship where it's that marriage, man. It's that special M where it's now married in commitment. In the eyes of the Lord, you guys are tied to one. You know what I mean? When are you able to? Again, I feel like at a woman's perspective, that's the pinnacle. So when are you able to say that I'm putting a rock on her finger and let everybody know she's taken, she's off the market?
That was a tricky way that you worded that, because before that last sentence you just said that's the pinnacle for women. So if that's the pinnacle, as a man, why would you want to knowing that if we know that that's the pinnacle, right, the wedding, why would we look forward to that? Why would we want to put that ring on the finger? If we know that that's the pinnacle, and after pinnacle meaning that is the high point, so everything after that is gonna drop. So why would we do that?
This guy trying to make my question out, trying to turn it into a bad one. Like, I'm just trying to,
Yeah, it's
if you look at it
different, man.
Yeah.
I think like we come from a different era now where like shit in general is just backwards. You know what I mean? Like we don't tend to think of marriage. We don't tend to think of what goes into an actual marriage, a strong, just reliable marriage that can stand the test of time, that can go for 40, 50 years like it used to be 40, 50 years ago.
Right.
I feel like, it's hard to answer that because we're not really built for that. Our generation is not really built for that. We have way too many distractions.
Too many.
We anytime we're faced with any type of adversity, we bow out. You know what I mean? We're like, we're good. I'm good. It's too rough. It's too rocky. So how do you really go about answering that? I don't know. I've never been in that position. I've never felt like, I've never been with a woman where I'm like, this is the woman I want to marry. That's never even crossed my mind, because just the type of person I am, I really gotta be thorough with you and make sure that you're the one I want to spend the rest of my life with. I take that shit serious. You see people getting married and divorced and 3, 4, 5 times. To me, that shit doesn't even make any sense. It's like, why do that? Why
do all that extra work just to know that you're prone to let this go in a year and a half?
Yeah, to me that just shows, as a person you haven't done enough healing, first of all, and you haven't grown enough. So you're just gonna keep repeating that same cycle. So I can't really answer that. You know what I mean? I would hope that I would just hope that I don't even know how to go about that. I don't know how to answer that, y'all. I really don't, to be honest.
Yeah, I think for us right now, we're speaking on a side that we're not there yet, so it's kind of hard to speak on a course that you've never taken yet.
100. But I hope to take that course.
No, for sure.
I've said this before in previous episodes. Like, I look for that, but in terms for me to really engage in that, into that, it's got to be a woman that really understands what marriage is about. Because to me, a marriage is about building, and it's always going to be about building, and it's always going to be about a partnership. And I just think that men and women of our generation, we don't understand that. We're just in it for the highs. We don't really want to deal with the lows, So that's
it's easier to quit, man. It's easier to quit something than to stay the course.
You know what I mean? Yeah, 100%.
It's easier to quit than just to kind of stay the course and see things through. On our last podcast, we talked about fighting through and just seeing fighting through adversity. It's the same thing here. You know what I mean? With marriage, is even when you go through those rocky periods, you guys still find a way to kind of come out of it. And it's like now you've took that challenge on, and now you guys are better.
Right.
You guys are on a better. So again, those are chapters where I'm like, okay, we've gone through arguments, we got past it. You know what I mean? We've added new things to our life, maybe children. We can now move past because we're stronger now. You know what I mean? It's just keep hitting those milestones, and you realize that every milestone that you guys hit, it just, you know what I mean? You feel good about, passing that milestone. It's not like, oh shit, I hit this milestone, but I just kind of, I just kind of tiptoed past it. It's like you hit that milestone, but it's like you feel good about, passing that. I feel like those are moments where I feel like, okay, maybe she's getting closer to being that final, that last woman I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. I think those things I value.
You see those memes all the time where it's like the nigga's he's a skeleton, and then there'll be a caption like, oh, when he's finally ready to settle down, you know what I mean? In a sense, that's as weird as it is. It's kind of true, because men I think we just take longer to select the woman that we feel we are going to spend the rest of our life with, as opposed to women. I don't think women take that. Obviously they take time, but I don't think it's the same thing. I think once they get to a certain age, they want that, you know what I mean? They need that. And that's a whole nother topic, we could talk about that. We can get into that as well today. Just the whole the perspective on marriage, the biological clock of women versus the logic and the structure of men, and how we go about things and how they go about things, because they're very different, and especially in today's time, it's very different. It really does feel backwards. Just not necessarily from my experiences. I've talked to a bunch of women and a bunch of men, and it's always the same type of response that I get from both sides. You know what I mean? Women, they want the babies, they want the ring, and then they want the wedding, and they want that in that order. You know what I mean? Where men, it's like, we need the foundation, we need the money, the cash flow, we need the house, we need to know that we're secure, and then we move into that realm. So, it's real tricky, I'm gonna let you cut in, you got anything to add? Because I was about to deep dive into that.
I seen your eyes just kind of going back in line. I see you just trying to calculate it.
I've had this conversation so much recently with so many different people and so many different walks of life, and it's crazy just to hear the similarities and the differences, but it always balances out.
I just feel like when I see certain things fail, and I'm just like it's just like it's shocking, just because it's like you only did it because you guys were together,
right?
Then you happen to just move in together, where now you guys are sharing the bills,
right?
And now you guys had kids together, where now you guys are invested physically, you know what I mean? Because that kid's now, so now you guys are just feel like you guys are stuck to each other, and I just feel like that is where, you know what I mean? You should have made some different choices before you guys walked into these chapters, because now you are not really tied together for the sake of being tied together. You guys are tied together because all the outside stuff. Yeah. And I see those kind of things, and that's why I'm hesitant on the person who I'm, you know what I mean? Who I'm invest my time in, because sometimes you just can't help. If you're with somebody often, you tend to fall in love with them. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you're with them often, then you're gonna start to feel comfortable with them all the time, and you want to be with them. And then next thing you know, it's like you're there every day. Next thing you know, you guys are moving in together, and then you guys are following that course. But be careful, man. You know what I'm saying? Just think with your head a little bit. You know what I mean? Think with
For me, like from talking to people that have had time in when it comes to like marriage, one thing I'm starting to notice is there is really no perfect person for you. I think it's really comes down to just communication. Like communication. What you're able to talk through will ultimately dictate your relationship. You feel what I'm saying? Like, no matter who you are, you're gonna butt heads about. It could be about anything, and especially the longer period of time that you have in with somebody, you're gonna continuously butt heads. I'm sure that people that have been married for 40, 50 years, there's probably been years where they don't even want to see the person. They don't even want to talk to you. They want a divorce. They want all of that. But for some reason, whatever it is that's driving them, they've got past those points, and they've been able to get out of those ruts and,
I forgot.
Go back to the highs.
I forgot what I was watching, or someone told me this. I forget what it was, but I was watching someone, and someone says like, yo, when you go through a rough period when you're married with someone, it's not like a day or two that you guys are upset with each other. It's like 2 weeks or whatever it was.
Yeah,
It's like 2
I
weeks,
could
3
see
weeks.
that.
And I'm just like, yo, I forgot where I was watching it, but I was like, shit, bro.
You need time, man. You need time apart. And I think, that's, going back to like this whole pandemic thing. I think that time apart hasn't been afforded the way it used to be, because now everybody's at home and you have no other release. You're around that person all the time. So you see a lot of divorces happening. You see a lot of breakups happening. You see all of that. And at the end of the day, you need your time. You need your time as a person. So, it is what it is.
So let's let's step outside the box of inside a relationship. When you're single, you know what I mean? Just finding someone, right? Just finding someone that you found interesting. What are some of the common things that you found, maybe in each of your relationships, or maybe just in your last relationship or the one before that? What are some of the things that you found interesting to kind of lead you to want to know that person a little bit more?
When a person is quiet, when a woman is quiet, that intrigues me for sure. Off the bat, her taste in music, that's huge for me. Like,
If she's playing some nonsense, you're not having it.
no, not necessarily. You can play the nonsense. We all fuck with the nonsense, right?
All the ignorance.
We all listen to ignorance. There's nothing wrong with like ignorant music. You gotta just know how to balance it. But it's the non-ignorant music that I'm gonna pay attention to. Like, if I know certain artists and I feel like a huge majority of the world is not on that artist, and I hear you bumping it,
Yeah.
that's when I'm gonna be like, okay, so
It's not
right
the public.
then,
It's not the public opinion. Not the public.
it's,
choice.
It's just not the mainstream. It's
Yeah,
not. It's not the main. It's not the if you're bumping that, then I'm gonna be like, okay, there's a little more to you, because for you to be listening to that, I guess you kind of have to be on the same frequency as me.
Right.
So
in a sense.
yeah. So I'm a check for you for that.
What else? What else? You got music. What else? Quiet.
Your ability to hold your tongue in the crowd. Just what you say. Social media, obviously. I'm gonna look at you if you're like one of those people that is always on social media, and you always have like the filters on and shit like that. The filters trip me out, because I feel like those filters are designed for you women to mask like your insecurities. And if I see women using that a lot, this guy ducking his head, man. If I see you using that a lot, I'ma kind of think like, are you insecure like with yourself? Are you not comfortable being in your natural face? I'ma look at that. That's the thing for me. There's probably a lot of other things. I just, music is huge for me, and just how you hold your tongue and how you communicate with people.
I think the big things that I noticed is like interaction. How you interact with people.
Right.
I mentioned this before, like how you interact with your family. You know what I mean? I'm deeper. I notice kind of those smaller things. You know what I mean? A person that goes out every week and all that type of stuff. I'm probably, you know what I mean? Probably not gonna feel comfortable with that. To be honest, 100. I'm gonna be 100 with it. I'm not gonna be comfortable with it. But I kind of look at those small things. You know what I mean? How you react to, your family. How you speak to people.
See, Hook, I mean to cut you off, but it sounds like you're taking the angle, you're taking a standpoint as if you already know the girl, or you're getting to know the girl.
Getting to know her.
Because if you just see a girl, you're not going to necessarily see how she communicates with her family, right?
Okay, so maybe you're right. So social media, if we go to social media, right?
Yeah.
Again, personal interest, what you share in your feed, the way you deliver your message, the way you speak. You know what I mean? What kind of things you throw in the atmosphere? Like, I promise you, in the last 12 months, it's just what this guy likes to say, his point of view. You know what I mean? Your personal point of view. Like, what are you throwing out there in the atmosphere? You know what I mean? What kind of things do you attract to? Again, if you see everything negative, I'm just like, yo, what the fuck, bro? Like, yo, you just killing my vibe for real. Like, you know what I mean? It's just that energy. You could kind of get to feel somebody and kind of feel if their energy is, again, if it's attractive energy, but it doesn't mean it's good energy. You know what I'm saying? It could be attractive bad energy, and if it's attractive bad energy, it's just a fun time. You know what I mean? It's just a fun time. But if it's attractive energy, that's good energy, then I'm gonna be like, yo, shit, like, we've all been there.
Yeah.
We've all been there where we had that bad energy that we're attracted to, but we know in our heart it's not good for us.
Honey.
I asked my friend the other day, I'm like, yo, name something that you like, but you know it's not good for you. And she kind of hesitated to kind of give me an answer. She's like, what do you mean? Everything I like is good for me. I'm like, nah.
You're bugging.
Maybe you don't understand my question. And I kind of just left it right there because at that point I'm not going to kind of get into details to elaborate my question.
Yeah.
Just because we're on social media, but it was a question I just threw out there just to kind of see what her mind was, how her mind was going.
That's the beauty of social media too. You can kind of see, you can get that look into a person's mind without actually having to communicate with them. Again, like what a person is posting most of the time is relevant to them and it's relative to their personality. So the person could be bad, shorty could look crazy bad, right? But you see her posting some goofy shit. Like for me, I don't care how bad you are. If I see you posting like, he likes that I'm toxic, or these are my toxic traits, or you know what I mean, that type of goofy shit, I'm gonna just be like, all right, I'm gonna head out, SpongeBob type thing, But you feel what I mean? Like that type. That's what gets me. That's a no for me still. Once I start seeing you talk about how toxic you are and shit like that.
Yeah, I feel like at a younger age, we kind of gravitated towards that. We thought it was funny. We thought it was like, it was interesting and popular to do stuff like that. But, you know what I mean? When, again, with growth, it comes interest. It comes your personal view. And if you're still interested in that kind of stuff like right now at this age, then it's just like, yo.
It's a lot.
Yeah, man.
There's a lot of people that are still men and women. I don't want to just direct this strictly at women, but men and women both.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm not gonna say just be the most positive person every day, but try to keep a good balance of what you throw in the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Because people do watch you and people do try to build a profile of you from a distance. Not to say that a profile character of you matters, but yeah, man. Just try to be yourself in every way, shape, or form. But yeah, man, it's just week over week, man. Just kind of speaking to people, you just get a whole bunch of feedback, man. Like I always say, you can understand somebody by an argument. You know what I mean? Just by understanding what an argument is. You don't have to raise your voice and scream and yell at each other to kind of get your point across. You can get your point across by just being a humble character. You know what I mean? Just provide those facts, X, Y, Z. So again, I like to have debates with people. You know what I mean? Jump into deep conversations, just to see how they're wired, man. So again, if you guys see me just throwing things at you guys through social media, it's just because I'm just picking people's brain, man. I'm just bored, man. Just talk to me. I'm lonely out here, man. What else you got for today, man?
What were we talking about before? I felt like I could double back on. Yeah, just the biological clock versus the logic of a man. You know what I mean? That's a deep topic on itself. I mentioned before, that I could say in past experiences and also talking to women and men, just the way we're configured to think about marriage and think about relationships is completely different. And the hardest thing really is to figure out where it stems from. Like, would you want to chime in on that? Where do you think that we develop our perspective on marriage as men? Got him.
Yeah, nah, bro. I can't even give you that. I feel like that's just a chapter in life that everyone needs to kind of go through. Obviously, it means a lot more to one gender than it does mean to another. From coming from a wider audience, obviously, surveying a lot more people, you'd probably get one gender valuing that a lot more than the other gender. I'm gonna ask you a question just in the middle of this. I said marriage was the pinnacle point, right?
Right.
In a relationship, what would you substitute that and put something else? Or would you put that structure, like you said, I think you said living together, kids, and then a marriage?
Yeah.
What other chapters
would I put in there?
Yeah, what other things would you substitute in an order?
I think the wedding would be the pinnacle for women. I don't think necessarily it would be for a man. I think for a man, the pinnacle is just ultimately having a family and being able to pass down things to that family. I think the majority of men are wired like that. We want to plant our seed, watch our seed grow, and also give that seed an inheritance. You know what I mean? I feel like the whole wedding and the ring and the whole structure of that is just strictly designed for the woman. That's to make her feel special, to make her feel valued, which, you know, you guys should feel valued. But there isn't really many men that I've spoken to that really care for that. You know what I mean? Most men will be happy if we did a little ceremony, spent a little change, and, you know, had a cookout, a barbecue or something. Just invite everybody over and just, you know, chill out, have a good time. Yo, for all the men listening, like, yo, am I wrong? Does any man out there, unless you really got it like that, is there any man out there that really wants to go down 50K in the hole for a wedding when, you know, you could
from the GLM right now?
Yo, it is what it is. I'm gonna be honest. I gotta give the perspective of a man right now. You know what I'm saying?
You're not interested in the honeymoon to just go into the...
Bro, we could do the honeymoon anytime.
Yo, was she gonna say, you don't think I'm worth that, or?
Bro, we not talking about what she thinks. We talking logically. This is men logic. This is men logic right now. We not talking about the emotional aspect and the fairy tale Disney type of, you know, environment that this society has created. We talking about logic. You know what I mean? Like, let's break down the numbers. We come out of school. Most people go to school. They come out of school, right? We come out in debt. Then what's next? You're supposed to get a house. That's debt. You get a whip. That's debt. Then you're expected to get married. The average wedding is what? 30 to 50K. That's debt. So, yo, then what comes after that? You're supposed to have kids. That's debt. When do you actually get out of that debt? If we follow the way society sets us up, when do you actually get out of debt? You don't get out of debt until you're what? Like 60, if that, right? And then as a man, being the backbone, we're expected to carry that load, that financial load for the most part. I'm not saying in all situations, but I think most people would agree that, especially like being a woman, if you have a bunch of kids, you don't really want to be going back to work. You would rather be home with the kids, and the majority of men would probably want that as well. Unfortunately, the society that we live in today, one income is not doing it. Going forward, we're in what, year 2021. Going forward from now, if you teach your kids and you train your kids, you know, just get a good job, your kids are going to be they're going to be broke, they're going to be in a bad situation. You need to understand how to diversify and obtain multiple streams of income. I hope they implement that in the school system real soon, or else, you know, the future is not going to look too bright. You feel what I'm saying? But I feel like I just went off on a tangent.
I feel see smoke coming on.
Yeah,
you know, I mean? Fam?
But yeah, you know, back to the whole marriage thing and the structure. For a man, I think the peak is just knowing. The peak is at the end. The peak is truly at the end, and seeing what you put into the world, and watching your kids grow, watching them become successful, watching them reap the rewards of what you planted for them. I think more so for the women, it is just in the moment. I got a ring. He gave me a ring. I'm his. We did the wedding. You know what I mean? I could be wrong, but, you know,
we need some feedback. We need some feedback on some of this stuff. Just like, I feel like we've built an idea of what you guys feel is XYZ, what's most valuable. But if you guys feel differently, you feel like something that was said here today wasn't accurate, I feel like you guys need to throw that out here to kind of make sure we're in line together. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously from the way you guys speak, from the way some of the females speak, the female audience speak, is you guys value these things. Is these three things that pop up every time we speak. So that's why,
in that order,
yeah.
Babies, the ring, and the wedding. That's backwards, in my opinion. That's backwards. I'm sorry. You got to build a foundation first, man. I've spoken to way too many women that they say those three things. It's just like, yo, I want babies. I want babies. It's like, yo, well, what about the structure? What about the foundation? What about building something with somebody? What about those kids in 30 years? What do you want them to inherit from you? And it's always like, oh, well, I don't know. We can figure that out. But I want babies. I only have this amount of time, which granted is fair. You know what I mean? We don't have that issue. We don't have to worry about that.
So we can pump them out whenever.
We could pump them out whenever. So I get that. And yeah, I don't want to be coming off insensitive to that topic because, you know, that's a real thing. We're talking about biology versus society, right? And those things will always conflict. They will always conflict. One is natural and one is man-made or man-constructed. So they'll always conflict. But the fact of the matter is we live in a society where if you do things backwards like that, the majority of the time you're going to fail. You're setting yourself up for failure, the man and the woman. So, you know, that's just my 2 cents for the day.
I already hear a few people saying like, yo, failure is good, you learn from it. Just certain failures, certain losses and lessons are costly.
And you can avoid.
Yeah, you especially when you know there's an alternative to it and you still take that road.
Yeah.
You understand that some of the challenges that you're making are costly, right? So just again, that's just me putting a little 2 cents onto, you know, the some of the stuff that you shared, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I'll take the bullets this week for that.
Yeah,
y'all could go ahead. I'm bulletproof when it comes to that. I'll take those. But yeah, man, how you feel?
that was a lot. That was a lot to digest, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pause. But yeah, man, just I can't even follow up with anything after that just because it was a lot. I'm still processing, you know, a lot of different responses I can hear in my head right now just to kind of, you know, because again, a foundation is definitely a big thing for me. Massive, you know what I mean?
I think it is for every man.
Building my empire up front now. That way it's gonna sustain with or without a second party or a third party joining me. You know what I mean? So that's definitely a big thing for me. That's just drilled in my brain every day. I wake up. It's time to get to it. You know what I mean? Shout out to everyone who's been in the position that you were able to take those steps, you know, initially, and you had opportunities to kind of get you there first, and then you know what I mean. But for the rest of the world, if we're just chasing that dream, yeah, man, just kids in general. Whenever I hear kids, I'm just like, yo, bang. That's. I gotta make sure that everything you're doing, like your mindset's in check. You know, you're able to kind of feed for that child. What kind of parent you're gonna be? Because you know, when those tough times happen, you always hear about, you know, certain things happening. It's like, yo, what kind of parent are you, fam?
Mm.
What kind of parent are you? You know, are you in the right mindset to even? You know what I mean? When I see some of my friends, you know, at a young age having babies, they're up 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, just posting pictures with their babies because they're literally up all night. And I'm like, are you ready for all that? Are you ready to be up every 2 hours because your baby's hungry? Are you ready to be there?
And that's speaking from experience, that's the easy part. That's truly the easy part. That first year, that's the easy part. It gets harder when your kid, when it comes down to you actually having to teach and instill certain principles into the kid. That's when it becomes hard. You know what I'm saying? Because you want them to see things. You want to give them the most opportunities to win and the most insight on situations as they grow. And they might not always see it your way. You know what I mean? I feel like growing up, there was a lot of times my mom or my pops would give me information and I would just be like, I'm not trying to hear that. And I would fall right into a trap because I didn't listen to them. You feel what I'm saying? And that cycle is only going to repeat itself. That's just human nature. We don't like to be told what to do. We like to experience things for ourselves. So that first year, that's just the easy part. You know what I mean? Especially if you're doing it with somebody else. That's the easy part.
I think roadmap, when I'm talking about certain things like this, is roadmap. Understanding what your 5-year roadmap looks like. Let me ask you, in 5 years, where do you see yourself? With everything you have going on right now, where do you see yourself?
I see myself in a much better position financially, a much stronger mental state. You know what I mean? I think the half of last year leading into this year, I really started to understand that I need to focus on my mental health. And there's certain things that I need to do in order to achieve that. You know, I've been looking into like therapy for this year. That might be a big thing that I invest into. There's no bigger investment in life than yourself. So on all fronts, I feel like I need to be sharp as a knife. And in 5 years, I feel like I'm gonna be,
Wow.
10 times sharper than I am right now.
So there's definitely some good ones I heard in there. Let's talk about therapy, for example, just to kind
Right.
of, sidetrack for a little bit.
Right.
Why therapy?
Just having a kid and ultimately wanting more kids. I don't want to be passing down any of my trauma to them. You feel what I'm saying? I want to be able to, when I'm teaching them, I want to be able to do it with a clear mind. I don't want to do it with like a prejudgment of a situation because I went through it. I'm telling you, like, nah, don't do that because it didn't work out for me.
Right.
I want you to be able to understand, these are the pros, these are the cons. I'm going to give you all the information possible, and I'm going to let you make I'm going to rely on myself first and foremost that I taught you well enough to understand. And here's all the information you need. Go make the choice that, you feel is the best. So the main reason is for my kids, my future kids or whatever. And just for myself, you know what I mean? I feel like that's something I would have never thought I would do in this lifetime. 5 years ago, I would never even consider therapy. I would have been like, yo, therapy is for a mod you, like, but it's not. Getting your mind right, how is that crazy? There shouldn't be anything you put over that. Your mind controls everything around you. It controls, your mindset in terms of money, how you interact with people, everything. So why wouldn't you want that as strong as possible? You feel me?
For me, 5-year roadmap is developing my a circle of there was a book I read or a post, and I think I shared this before, that you need friends in every areas. You know what I mean? You need to have people that are that you can go out with. You need to have people that you guys just talk about financial gains. You need people that just work on your independent character. You need friends that just, your family friends. Then you need your neighbors that you could just, you just walk into the mailbox. You guys have a 1-2 elevator conversation where you just kind of just daily stuff. You know what I mean? For me, it's just building that network of people around me that are just a strong foundation. You know what I mean? So if I ever feel challenged in a situation, I know where to tap in. I know what group of friends to kind of share these type of concerns with to see how they, overcome those scenarios. So for me is strictly just building and working on myself. Obviously building myself allows others to learn from some of the things that I'm sharing. You know what I mean? I feel like if you're a well-rounded character, when you speak or when you do some things, people indirectly just take from that.
Right.
The independent or indirectly just learn from that. So again, it's just solely just working on myself. I'm gonna be 100% selfish with it. You know what I mean? Be in a position where I'm independently just a well-rounded individual, and I'm in a position where I can help others. Man, I don't even care what backlash or what comes with that. You know what I mean? I want to do things a certain way, and obviously I need to work on myself first. So in order for me to help someone else, I need to work on myself to get myself to a position where I'm able to lend my hand out. You know what I mean? If I'm not there yet, I don't feel like I can pull you up and just carry me, because I'm taking on 2 loads. I'm now trying to, you know what I mean? I don't have a kid, but my nephew is like my younger bro. You know what I mean? Everything I do, I want to make sure that I'm able to kind of give to him. You know what I mean? Because yeah, man, if you have no direction in life, I feel like sometimes you can get lost in the sauce. You know what I mean? You can get lost in, the things that just happen. So again, for me, it's just building a network of people around me that are just keep me foundational, fundamentally just right in my head, right in my mind. That's my 5-year plan, man. Just to have all those pockets, have those areas where they're all covered. Because sometimes when I'm thinking like, yo, who can I call right now? You know what I mean? I can call him, but I just don't think that he may have the answer to this. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm like, yo, fuck, man, someone's pissing me off, bro. Like, I just need to call somebody. You know what I mean? And then I want to make sure I have those people. I want to have those people in my back pocket where I'm equipped. You know what I mean? But that's my 5-year roadmap, just to kind of just build them myself.
Just stay the course. You know what I mean? That's it. Stay the course. These cameras about to die. You know what? I think we could cut it right there. We appreciate y'all tuning in again for another episode. You know what I mean? We kind of went off on tangents on this one, but we hope we I can't say we, it was more so me.
Try to throw everyone like we were all
Yeah,
throwing out.
Nah. Like I said before, I'll take the bullets on this one. You know,
Yo, you guys don't talk to me about what this guy's saying.
Yo,
Let this guy hear it.
I stand on what I say. You know what I mean? I might not always word it correctly, but there's never any malice intent. I stand on what I say. You feel me?
Let me just say this, yo. Like I said before, right? If you feel a certain type of way, you shouldn't have no fear in saying it. You know what I mean? Just let it go. If the atmosphere doesn't take it the right way, that's unfortunately on them to kind of, deal with their own, check. You know what I mean? Deal with their own mental. But if you say something, stand on it. You know what I mean? Say it with your chest. Don't mumble it under your words. Just say it. You know what I mean?
100.
Yo, fam, you got something to say? You got something to chime in today?
Yeah. No, I'm not about that skiing thing you're about.
Man said he's not about the skiing life. He's just
straight snowboarding over here.
He's a top guy, yo. This guy, he plugs his earphones in and you don't see nobody. He's just going down. He's just groovy, He's light on his feet. But that's what's up, man. Another episode in the books.
We appreciate y'all, man. We checking off. We're gonna check back in with you guys next week for the next episode.
That's what's up.
Take care. Don't know.
Yes, sir.